Good morning, and welcome to the Kettering University Mobility Research Center. Governor Whitmer, it is a pleasure to welcome you back to campus. Over the years and through my work with the MEDC and other initiatives, we've had the opportunity to interact and collaborate on several occasions, and I want to take this moment just to thank you, not just for being here today, but for your consistent commitment to education, innovation, and the people of Michigan. To our partners from the Flint and Genesee Economic Alliance, to all our guests, Mayor Neely, Representative Neely, faculty, student, alumni, members of the media, and our community leaders, thank you for joining us. We're honored to host you today. At Kettering, we believe in partnership, real working partnership, the kind that moves ideas from vision to impact, and that's something we've experienced firsthand with many of you in this room. Whether in rebuilding our economy, growing Michigan's talent pipeline, or preparing for the industries of tomorrow, progress happens when public leadership and mission-driven institutions pull in the same direction. Governor, your focus on innovation and opportunity is deeply aligned with our purpose as a university. Your leadership is helping to shape a future where Michigan doesn't just compete, it leads. Kettering was built for that kind of future. Since our founding, we've been at the crossroads of industry and innovation. Our model that combines rigorous academic study with real-world cooperative experience produces more than graduates. It produces engineers, entrepreneurs, and leaders ready to make a difference on day one. That's why the Wall Street Journal ranks Kettering among the top 10 universities in the country for career preparation, and why our graduates consistently earn the highest starting salaries in the state of Michigan. Over the past several years, we've expanded our focus in 5 key areas: advanced mobility, new energy vehicles, intelligent manufacturing, artificial intelligence, and sustainability. We've announced recently a new accelerated bachelor's in semiconductor materials and devices, one of the first programs of its type in our nation, and secured over $1.5 million in funding to help drive forward our work in semiconductors, hydrogen, and advanced manufacturing. We are proud that this work is happening right here in Flint, a city whose resilience and ingenuity have long helped shape Michigan's story. We're also very proud, I need to mention, to be a partner in the Michigander Scholars Initiative. This program is helping to develop and retain talent Michigan needs most, and Kettering students are once again leading the way. So far, 385 of our students and graduates have been named Michigander Scholars, with 177 earning scholarships, more than any other institution in the state. Governor, I've seen firsthand how your leadership opens doors for students like ours, and we all see in your leadership this understanding that Michigan's future will be built where innovation, education, and opportunity come together. It now is my great pleasure to introduce someone who understands the stakes and the promise of that future. Please join me in welcoming the Governor of the state of Michigan, the Honorable Gretchen Whitmer.
Thank you. Well, thank you. And now I think after that introduction, people understand why we are here today, why we're talking about Michigan's future at a place like this phenomenal institution. And I am thrilled to be here with all of you and glad to be back in Flint for the latest in my series of speeches that I've been giving about Michigan and the road ahead, our economy. I want to thank Kettering for hosting us, and of course, at the GM Mobility Research Center for all the work that they do to train the next generation of builders and innovators. Today I want to talk about the future of our economy. I wanted to focus on the future right here in Flint because this is a place that has the potential to be on the cutting edge of manufacturing, not just today, but for decades to come. People outside of Michigan know Detroit as the Motor City, but this is Vehicle City. GM was founded here in 1908. The UAW was strengthened here by sit-downers. Flint has a rich history, but we know that it's been left out or counted out for too long. And I want the world to hear the name Flint and think about the things that are made here, not the things that happened here. If we work together on this year, I think Flint will be known as a place that leads and builds and grows. And there are so many wonderful things happening in this city, but we need to take Flint and the state of Michigan into the future. Right now, there's an ongoing race when it comes to mining minerals, making the components and assembling the products of the world, products that the world will need for the decades to come. And that includes everything from medical devices and drones to solar panels and semiconductor chips. Michigan is well positioned to lead this race, but we need to use every resource we have in order to win the race. It's just common sense. We can disagree about some of the finer details, but we all got to get on the same page about whether or not we are going to make Michigan a place that leads the world. At a high level, let's help business bring high-skilled jobs to Michigan. Let's reward companies that commit to Michigan. And let's make it easier to build here in Michigan, whether that's housing or roads or schools or factories. Delivering on these goals ensures that we are the Great Lakes state where anyone can live a good life, an international destination where the world's most innovative companies want to invest, a Michigan that does not rest on its past, but the Michigan of tomorrow where the future is built every single day. Now, over the last few years, we've seen glimpses of that bright future. Working together, we've won game-changing projects to design, test, and manufacture next-generation products right here in Michigan. Electronics, drivetrain, steering, brake suppliers statewide, a chip component company in the Keweenaw Peninsula, batteries in Lansing, Holland, and Big Rapids, a ticketing startup in Grand Rapids, energy-efficient glass in Litchfield, advanced chemicals in Ann Arbor, and solar panels in Saginaw. Now I want to tell you about two more projects right around here. In 2022, Michigan won a $300 million investment from SK Siltron, creating 150 good-paying, high-skilled jobs in Bay City. SK Siltron is one of the world's leading manufacturers of wafers. These ultra-thin pieces of silicon are the building blocks of electric vehicles, smartphones, solar panels, and more. Their technology improves our lives by increasing driving range, improving battery life, and lowering the cost of energy production. SK Siltron chose Michigan over Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, and both Carolinas because of our workforce, our growing economy, and a business-friendly environment. And they know that the values that guide their work, reliability, quality, performance, are hallmarks of Michigan manufacturing. The products made here matter, but ultimately, it's all about people. People like Brian, who is an R&D tech at the facility. He's Bay City born and raised. His entire family lives there, and it's home. He has a good-paying job with great benefits in his hometown, near his loved ones. I think that's what so many of us want, to do meaningful work and to be close to our loved ones. That's really how our state built the middle class. And if we do our job right, future generations will have the same chance. Now I want to talk about Hemlock Semiconductor. Founded in 1961, Hemlock is the largest producer of hyper-pure polysilicon in the US and one of the largest producers in the world. Nearly every single electronic device in the world contains Hemlock polysilicon. Just think about that. This material, which is made by extracting crystals from quartz, goes into our phones, our televisions, our tablets, our refrigerators, our laptops. As they like to say, you're never more than 6 feet away from Michigan-made polysilicon. Think about that, it's really pretty amazing. Last year, Hemlock announced a significant expansion of their presence in Michigan, building a new $375 million facility in Saginaw Township, creating 180 good-paying, high-skilled jobs. Now, for the last couple of years, the global shortage in chips has impacted every one of us. It forced automakers to buy parking lots so that they could fill them up with almost done cars because we were waiting on semiconductors. It jacked up prices on phones and computers and appliances. And so while SK Siltron and Hemlock projects are vital, they're ultimately suppliers of chip manufacturing process. We have to be able to assemble the chips here too. It's just like the auto industry. To be the best, you need suppliers and OEMs, the whole supply chain. We need a semiconductor chip assembly plant, known as a fab. Now, fabs are the most advanced factories on the planet. All the action happens in what is known as a clean room. I know everyone at Kettering knows what that means, but for the rest of us, this is where chips are made using multi-$100 million machines with sci-fi names, ion implanters, photolithographs, vapor depositors. These clean rooms are hyper-controlled environments. An atomic speck of dust, let alone a human sneeze or a loose fiber on someone's sweater, can throw off the entire process. It's why they have to be some of the most purified air on the planet in these clean rooms, 1,000 times more sterile than an operating room in a hospital. And they are bathed in yellow light to eliminate disruptive wavelengths. I like how some of you are nodding. I'm glad you know what I'm talking about. All the pipes, ducts, and pumps are made and transported to the highest possible standards. Manufacturers go to the extreme lengths because chips are both incredibly small and incredibly difficult to manufacture. Each chip is made up of billions of transistors, tiny electronic switches that are stacked on top of one another in a precise grid. These transistors can be as wide as 2 nanometers. All right, some of you know what that means, but for the rest of us, the human hair is 100,000 nanometers. Human DNA is 2.5 nanometers. So that's how precise we're talking about. Once produced, these chips become the brain of our devices, things that we use every day. They power the invisible systems that make modern life possible. There are 2 kinds of advanced chips, logic chips and memory chips. Logic chips process information, making trillions of calculations a second that allow you to send a text, write an email, play music, or order delivery. Memory chips store information from your photos and documents to our collective medical records and financial data. Although the United States pioneered chip making, we stopped leading it. We made 0% of the world's logic chips and just a slice of memory chips as recently as 2022. Now, thanks to fabs being built nationwide, there's some momentum here, but we cannot let up. Let's stay on the cutting edge of this technology to outcompete the rest of the world. Let's also consider the national security angle. The computational power we need for our defense systems, from our fighter planes to nuclear submarines to cybersecurity, relies on these chips. They're crucial for AI and data centers. Building a fab is a monumental task. We're talking about moving enough soil and rocks to fill 400 Olympic pools, bending more steel than the Mackinac Bridge, pouring 12 times more cement than Ford Field, laying more miles of cable than the Michigan coastline. These modern marvels take 5,000 to 12,000 union construction workers around 2 years to build. Once up and running, a modern fab will support between 3,000 and 6,000 good-paying local jobs. These are jobs that Michiganders can do. Most jobs building a fab don't require a bachelor's degree. Most permanent fab jobs, however, require a 2-year degree or certificate, which a majority of Michiganders now have. If you don't have higher education or training yet, we will help you with a paid apprenticeship or tuition-free program like the Michigan Reconnect. So there are so many programs right here at Kettering that can prepare Michiganders for jobs building or working in fabs. This includes a new 3-year electrical engineering course geared towards semiconductor manufacturing, and that's incredible. fab is really an intergenerational project where a dad can work on pouring the foundation, a daughter can help wire it up to the grid, and the grandchild can work inside ultimately, making the advanced chips our world needs. So today I want to set an ambitious but attainable goal. By the end of next year, let's make sure that Michigan secures a fab. Are we ready? This would be a transformational, once-in-a-century investment. It would change the destiny of an entire region and state, making it an economic magnet for ambitious families to move here and to put down roots. And it's exactly what we need. I've been working on this for several years with state and federal partners. This year, I've already spoken with President Trump about a fab that will continue working with the administration's new U.S. Investment Accelerator to bring one home. Getting this done is going to be hard, but here's what I know about Michigan. We can do hard things, right? So, how do we do it? Well, a lot of this depends on our ability to work with Washington, D.C., but there are actions that we can and need to take at the state level, too. And I want to challenge local partners to be thinking about what more we can do even at the local level. When companies bet on Michigan, they tend to cite our workforce, our strong business environment, and natural resources. Our edge, especially right now, is our ability to provide certainty in the long term. We have proven repeatedly that we can work together to get big things done. In the months ahead, let's keep going. We're not going to beat China by sitting on the sidelines. We need to add more tools to our toolbox to bring jobs home and keep them here. There are some on the far left and the far right in Lansing who say we should unilaterally disarm. Just get rid of those tools and let the jobs go to Georgia, Kentucky, Arizona, or God forbid, Ohio. I say, I say hell no. Let's get them here. Let's compete and let's win. Michiganders can tolerate a lot. But one thing I know about the people of this state, we will not tolerate inaction. We cannot sit on our hands while other states and countries, without our manufacturing advantages, pass us by. No tool is perfect. And I'm open to ideas from anyone who wants to make sure that our tools are stronger and more transparent while we protect workers and taxpayers alike. But this is about delivering a big win for Michigan. And I'm eager to work with folks on both sides of the aisle in order to get this done. I'll also continue lobbying federal officials to bet on Michigan. In just the last few weeks, we fought for and won a new fighter mission at Selfridge and a federal commitment to build the Brandon Road Lock and Dam to protect the Great Lakes from invasive species. We can play the long game in DC and win. Let's do it again. If you share these goals, if you believe that we can build a chip fab, if you want Michigan to lead and win, I encourage you to speak up. Reach out to your federal and state legislators. Let's have spirited disagreement, but keep moving forward together and never take our eyes off of what matters. And that's a stronger Michigan for the people who call it home. We can set Michigan up for decades of success. We can write the next chapter in Flint's story as a beacon of the future. We can honor the principles of the sit-downers who fought for and give every working family a great shot at a good life. We can do big, challenging things because that's who we are. I thank you for making time for this conversation today. I welcome your partnership as we stake out this course of action, and I know that when we are successful, everyone in this room will have played a big, important role in that. So let's go get it done. Thank you.
Everybody, we'll be doing a photo line. If that side could come up first, go to Julia. And then those of you in the back row, if you would like to go to your right, the line, there's a line on the floor you can just sort of follow around and create a line this way. And I can help you.